Hi, I'm Tessa Holst. I'm the Assistant Dean of Students for the College of Social and Behavioral Sciences. And today we're going to talk about time management. When it comes to time management, we want to remember that there are important areas to keep in mind. If we can balance our time, we can help relieve stress. If we can relieve our stress, it's going to make us a little more motivated. If we're a little more motivated, we can avoid procrastination. And by avoiding procrastination, we can reduce duplication. So all of these are tied together when we stop to think about time management. So it used to be that multitasking was this great skill that you should have on your resume, but what studies are telling us now is that multitasking can actually waste time. It causes distractions and it can make us a little less efficient. There is actually some studies that have been done that said that it takes up to 20 minutes to refocus when you've been interrupted, which can add up to 28% of your day or even 2.1 hours, which is quite a bit of time if you're already busy. The Pareto Principle talks about the importance of focusing on what's really important and ignoring the trivial many. So that 80-20 rule is kind of the same thing as focusing on the 20% or that vital few and ignoring that trivial many, which is your 80%. It's really about being efficient and focusing on what matters most. So if you stop and think about a research paper and all the research you do in preparation for your writing of your paper, you're not going to use everything you find in your paper and in the research you've done. You're going to pick and choose parts of it that are applicable to your paper. You are picking the vital few of the research you're done, and you're not necessarily using everything of the trivial many. So that's where you want to stop and think about what's really important. What do you need to focus on and how you can do that moving forward? So stop and think about our first steps. You want to know your schedule. What do you want to accomplish? This is sometimes different than what you need to accomplish. So keep that in mind. What are your limits? And learn to say no. And so when you stop and think about that a little bit, it's important to identify what you can eliminate, what you can stop doing, because maybe it's something you want to do, but you don't need to do. When we start thinking about next steps, we want to make sure we're prioritizing. The best way to prioritize is to make sure that you can group your tasks together. You want to make a consistent schedule. If you're doing the same things at the same time every day, that's going to help you get motivated and be in preparation and be ready. You want to block time on your calendar. I don't care if you use a desk calendar or the calendar on your phone. Maybe it's the calendar in your email system. But by using a calendar and getting reminders, that's going to help you stay on track and get your items done. Make a to-do list. It's always good to be able to cross off when you get something done. So keep that in mind. This is a sample schedule that you can use. It's designed for the individual who works Monday through Friday, a 40-hour week. So you can adjust this based on your own schedule. But what it's really talking about is classes start on Wednesday. And so one of the first things you want to do is you want to preview the work you have for the week. Take a look at how much research you need to do, how many quizzes do you need to study for, how many discussion board posts do you need to do. That will be all in your syllabus. So estimate the time you're going to need to get this work done for the week. Maybe even read the first few chapters or whatever readings you have to do. And honestly, if you're going to read right away, do your weekly reading, you might as well post to the discussion board right away. Your content is fresh in your mind after reading, so that's where we want to go back and avoid duplication, right? If we do our discussion board post a couple days after we do our reading, you might not be quite as fresh and you might not remember it. So then you got to go back and you have to review it. Well, now you've just made yourself a little less efficient. So moving into day 2, you want to respond and review to the questions on the discussion board. If your particular syllabus says you have to to post on the discussion board 3 different weeks, and you did it on Wednesday and you did it on Thursday, you've got 2 of your 3 done already. Maybe take a little time to do some additional reading or studying, or maybe review your notes, prepare for seminar. And notice I put on Friday, enjoy the night off. And the reason I say take an evening off is because if you are going 24/7, you're going to reach burnout. And it's really important that we take care of ourselves, because if you get to the point of burnout, it's really hard to get over it. So take a little time every week devoted just to you. It doesn't have to be a lot of time. It can be 15 minutes, it can be 30 minutes. Go for a walk, play with your dog, enjoy your children, read a book, meditate, whatever makes you feel good. Do that to help rejuvenate yourself and take care of yourself, because you are the only person who can take care of you. So as I mentioned, this is designed for the person who has weekends off, and you can tailor this as needed. But on Saturday, your day off, I noted this is where you're going to get a lot of your work done. You're going to start or return to your weekly project that you're working on. Maybe do a little more research, maybe start your outline, maybe do some more discussion board posts, study for some quizzes. Day 2 of your weekend, I hopefully at this point you're wrapping up all of your large assignments, you're reviewing them, you're proofing them. I recommend that you always review your final papers on the day after you finish them. And the reason for that is so that you have a fresh set of eyes. You want to make sure that you're not missing what you want to see. And sometimes when we're working on something all day long or multiple days in a row, we see what we want to see and we don't see what's out there as a mistake. So having a fresh set of eyes on a new day will help you find some of those typos you might have missed or grammatical errors. You can also read it out loud. That might help you identify some areas that you missed. I put down here, maybe take your quizzes, finish that up. On Monday evening, I suggested that you finish your discussion board reviews. If you don't have all 3 days in, this would be a good day to finish and get your 3rd day. And then on Tuesday, notice I indicate you should not submit any large papers. This isn't the time to do your last writing assignment. And the reason I say this is because you need a day as a buffer, because life happens. We've heard of Murphy's Law, and if it can go wrong, it will. Nature calls, right? We have hurricanes, we have tornadoes, we have thunderstorms, we have electrical storms. All of that can impact your ability to finish your assignment. Some of us have families, we have small children, we have elderly we're caring for. That can impact your ability to finish an assignment. If you work outside the home, being able to balance your job, sometimes that impacts our schedule. So there are many, many things that can interfere with our schedule. And so by having a cushion built into your schedule on that last day of the week, that helps you in case life does happen. In case you do have a child that gets sick and you can't do your work on Monday night, or in case you have to work late one night and you miss the project you were going to work on Thursday night. Now you've got an extra day built into your schedule to help you in case something like that happens. And then always plan for the upcoming week so that you are, again, prepared when the week starts and you know what's going to happen. Time commitment. This is a big one when we're looking at time management at Purdue University Global Classes. If you are an undergrad student, those are our associate, bachelor students, some of our undergrad certificates. If you are taking 2 classes a week, a 5-credit class, the expectation is 10 to 15 hours per class. If you're taking a 6-credit class, that expectation is 12 to 18 hours per class. So if you're taking 2 classes, you're doubling those hours. You're looking at anywhere from 20 to 30 hours a week as an undergrad class schedule for 2 classes per week. Graduate students, if you are on our A, B, and C track, meaning you have 10-week classes, you're going to be looking at 12 to 18 hours per week for a 1 class. If you are on our E track and you are in a 6-week term, those could be getting into the 20, 25, 30 hours a week. And so you want to make sure that you know that you can build that time into your schedule. A couple quizzes here that you can look up online. How good is your time management? How productive are you? Are you a procrastinator? Are you self motivated? You can do a little review in Google and find these mind tools. And these will help you identify if you have some time management issues, or maybe if you're a procrastinator. You probably know if you are, but these will help you not only identify some problem areas, but they can give you some pointers on how to overcome those areas. They've got some questions that you can ask and answer, and based on the answers that you give to their questions, it's going to help you identify maybe you do need a little help in the time management, or maybe you're not as motivated as you thought you were. But the good news is that Mind Tools offers some solutions. And so if they, based on the answers to your questions, you do pop up as maybe someone who's got a little bit of productivity, you feel like you're doing a lot, but you're really not getting anything done, they've got some ideas here to help you with some of that. So a quick recap, we want to reflect on what you do and what you need to do. We want to identify our limits. That's where we learn how to say no. You want to, what can you eliminate? That 80-20 rule, trivial many, vital few, what's really important. That's what we want to focus on. We want to prioritize and group our tasks so that we are not redoing our work or causing extra work. We want to keep track of everything in a calendar and make a to-do list so we can check things off and stay organized. We want to be consistent. So if we're doing our work at 8 o'clock one night, 3 o'clock the next day, 9 a.m. the following day, that's not only hard for us to remember, it's hard for our families that are with us. And so keep a consistent schedule and then try those free online tests that I talked about. A couple links to the quizzes that I mentioned. Those are the online quizzes. You're more than welcome to use these. You can also, like I said, Google them. They're called Mind Tools. And that's it. Best of luck in your classes. Thanks, everyone.